will you be getting an early set of HDZero goggles? Says Slarbartfast in the Discord. I am going to guess, based on my history with HDZero products in the past, they will not send me a tester set, but then once they have a retail set ready to go, they will send it to me. That is, to be honest with you, how I prefer most product releases. I am usually so busy making content that if you ask me to do something like test your product and I'm not allowed to make content out of it, usually I don't have time, because I'm going to spend, however many hours working on your product, and then I'm not going to have any video to post that day or whatever. There are exceptions. There are some products that are so interesting or so in demand that it's worth it to me to work on them when I don't have. But in general, when people send me pre-release products and say, do you want to test this, but you can't make content about it, I just end up not looking at it. And it's not a good beneficial relationship for either of us. So what HDZero has done in the past is, when they have a retail version of a product they want to release, they send it to me, and I participate in the release, but they don't send me stuff that is not ready for release, and that's okay with me. They need people who are going to put a lot more time into the product than I could really afford to do the testing and get it ready to go. CIDFPV has just figured out what my shirt says. I don't know if you can read it. Too much yakking about irrelevant stuff, too little talking about the actual goggles. From Justin, what's his name? Justin Rail. Juan Rail. Can't really read it. Yeah. Abraham says, if HDZero isn't interesting and in demand, I don't know what is. Well, Aber, I mean, everybody has different preferences about what's most interesting. I have been more interested in HDZero at other times in my life. The product that HDZero released that I was most interested in was the 1 watt VTX. Well, first, obviously, when it first released as Sharkbite, I was super interested in it because it's a new product. No one's seen it before. What's it bring to the table? And what it brought to the table was, yeah, I see you got some potential here. My number one takeaway from the early HDZero stuff was, I wish it had higher output power, because 200 milliwatts just doesn't give me as much range as I would want. So then they came out with the 1 watt freestyle VTX, and I was like, yeah, and I did. If you go look, you'll see I did a big, full fat 5-star review. Not 5-star as in I rated it 5 stars, but like there are some products that I sit down and I just talk about it for 20 minutes on the bench, and I'm like, cool, review done. And there's other products that I pull out the stock photography and the music and the B-roll, and I really go all out to try to give the product as much attention as I feel like it deserves. And the HDZero 1 watt freestyle VTX was one of those. I left my house and I went to the parking garage and anyway. So right now, based on the performance of the system, my take is that I'd rather fly DJI. And as a professional reviewer, I obviously don't only look at products that I personally prefer the most. That wouldn't make for a very good reviewer. But my interest in the product is not as piqued as it was when the 1 watt VTX was coming out. That's what I mean. As far as demand goes, I don't know. I know that people who are passionate about HDZero are incredibly passionate about it, but I'm not convinced that numerically there's as much interest in HDZero as there is in some other things. I could be wrong about that. Like, for example, if we go to Ryan Quellet's YouTube page, no, not Ryan Wellet. No, not the musician Ryan Wellet. Ryan Quellet. No, shut the... I hate you, YouTube. There he is. There's a handsome devil. How much interest is there in HDZero? I mean, Ryan Quellet is the guy who makes HDZero content. I will get more views than him because I have more subs, but people who want information about HDZero will go to him. And his videos are getting 4,000 to 7,000 views. How much interest is there? Now this video blew the F up. 130K views. That's a good one. I got the full fat out of that one. 5K views on the live stream clip stream is very good. Mobula 6 HDZero with 36K views. That's respectable. Okay. I take it back. These videos are doing better than average for their type and position. I take it back. You're right. There's interest. There's demand.